Hi guys, and welcome to our preview for Mönchengladbach versus Manchester City tomorrow night. Tonight we've got Alan and Chris with us. How are you boys doing? Nice to see you. How's Alan?
Good. I'm good. Oh, it's morning time in Melbourne, but I've got my Mario t-shirt on. Why always me? So all ready.
And yourself, Chris, mate? How are you?
I'm all right, Kurt. I've got to compete with him tonight, haven't I?
You have.
Fine,
yeah, you have. Oh, yes, you have.
Okay,
all right, guys.
Get that brain in mode. Get it going. Go on.
All right, guys. And a quick little rundown for tonight. I'm just going to go through the form of the last 5 games that Gladbach have played in all competitions. We'll go through a little few bits and bobs I've got about Gladbach. And then we'll get into what Chris and Alan want to talk about, just a little bit about the Champions League in general, go through the lineup, score predictions, wrap it home and have a nice, easy one tonight. So we're going to start off with Gladbach's last 5 games. And I've got to say, their form in the last 5 games has been absolutely terrible, in my opinion. They've had a real dip in form. On the 30th of January, they played Union Berlin away, drew 1-1. They played a 4-4-2, and it wasn't pretty. In the Cup on the 3rd of Feb, they played Stuttgart away in the Cup, and they won 2-1. Gritty game, but they got the job done. 3 days later, in the 6th of February, they had a home loss to Cologne, 2-1. It's Colone's our boys Ryan's team, right? Yeah, so I'm sure he was really happy with that. They played a 4-2-3-1 in that game, which is generally their preferred formation. Moved on to the 14th of February, a week later. They got a nice week off. They drew away at Wolfsburg, 0-0. Hard game to play, Wolfsburg. They're a tough side. Wolfsburg got the second best defense in the league in the Germany, so they're always a tough side. They played a 4-2-3-1 again in that formation, and obviously you can see their form dipping. And their most recent game was the 20th of February against Mainz. They lost at home 2-1, and they played the 3-5-2. They were trying to obviously change it up and look for a few different things. I don't know if you guys watch the Bundesliga a lot, and I don't know if you or Alan have watched any bit of Gladbach or catch any of their games, or what your general thoughts are on Gladbach and their form recently. Start with Alan.
I watch every now and again, usually on Optus TV over here, namely when I've got nothing else to do. So I see a little bit of it, and the languishing down in 8th in the competition. So they're struggling in certain games, and their form has dipped. But they have beaten Dortmund and they have beaten Bayern, so they can raise their game against the big teams and to get results. So we have to be wary of that. But it's a game. Obviously, where they're not playing at home, they're having to play abroad, which can't be easy for them. But it's the same for all the German sides at the moment.
Yeah. And yourself, Chris, any thought of you? I don't know if you catch any of the Gladbach games, obviously knowing that we're coming up against them, and any of your thoughts on any of the things you've seen about them recently, mate? Or is it?
No, I watched a couple of German matches this weekend for the first time, actually, mate. I didn't think it was quite at the standard of the Premier League. I don't know if that's just me being a bit biased there. But, Gladbach, I mean, they had a couple of good results, didn't they, in January, beating Dortmund and Munich at home, so they're obviously not a shabby side. Don't seem to concede too many, but like Alan's just said there, it's an away game for them really as well. So I think that gives us a bit of an advantage as well as it saw when Liverpool in their quarter-final, didn't they? So yeah, I think this is a good time for City. We should beat Mönchengladbach. Really, the form we're in. I read somewhere earlier that they've not been in the knockout stages of the Champions League for 43 years. So that's back to, European Cup days. So
your Plankers days.
Yeah, it's a long time. I can just about remember. I'm sure Alan remembers them very well.
I was at 1978. I remember watching them at Main Road in the in UEFA Cup quarterfinals. I was at that game. That shows my age. That in 1978 they knocked us out as well. So they were a good side in the 70s. So we'll see. They're a big club.
Yeah, they most certainly are. They had an absolutely exceptional start to the season. They were really looking like a top team. But I believe in the early part of February, it was announced that their manager Marco Reus was going to Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, at the end of the season, which is a very common thing in Germany for managers to announce that they're going to leave, and it generally doesn't affect the team's form too much. But it seems this year that Gladbach's form has I don't know if it's just a a luck thing or whatever, but it seems to be that their form's really gone downhill since that announcement was made. Just a few facts on Marco Reus. He was the manager at Salzburg before he came to Gladbach. He was there for 2 years, won the league both times, obviously, and won the cup once. Did quite well for them in the Europa League, and obviously it's the next step coming from the Austrian Bundesliga to bump himself up to a European side in Gladbach, and obviously now he's making the step up. So he's obviously a coach that's quite well respected and quite well thought of, and he has been doing really well for the club. What I think is going to be interesting is I don't think it really matters on their form. I think we're in just such amazing form and playing so well. I don't really think it matters if they're in good form or bad form. I think the fact that we're away in the Budapest is going to help us a lot because it's basically an away game for both of us. So I don't know if you've got any thoughts on the away goals and it being obviously them not playing at home and the validity of that and them not changing that. I don't know if you guys have any particular opinions on that, because I think it's pretty unfair personally. I don't know about if you want to go to Alan first.
Yeah, it's hard to say because it's an unusual situation where the German clubs won't allow anyone into Germany at the moment. So they're all in their same situation in Germany at the moment. So it's a difficult one because we've got to improve our last 16 performances in the Champions League. And I think a lot of that to do with, and I've been saying this for years, is our defensive unit are not conceding goals. Let's hope that stays like that during this campaign, because that's the reason we're getting knocked out. If you look at the quarterfinals, we've been knocked out all because we conceded goals during those games, and we've been knocked out 3 times on away goals count double. So we have to be careful. They're going to go for it because it's their official home leg, if you want to call it. If we can keep a clean sheet, that's a job done, to be as far as I'm concerned. And if we can get an away goal, then it makes it even better. So, scoring a goal and keeping clean sheets for me, I'll take a 1-0 all day long.
Yeah, and just for you, Kex, I believe the second game's going to be at the Etihad. The travel restrictions were for teams going into Germany. That was my understanding of it. I believe I'm correct on that one.
Correct.
And yourself, Chris, I don't know if you've got any thoughts on the whole away goals with certain teams not being able to actually play their games at home, and if you think that's really an unfair thing, or if you have any thoughts on that particular.
Yeah, I mean, you could say it's unfair. I think it's unlucky, really, that's the rules in Germany. So, unfortunately, they've fallen foul of it. But, it's the last 8 where we struggle, isn't it, Alan? Not the last 16.
Well, yeah, it's the last 8, but
the last 3 away, last 6 teams we've beat Real Madrid, Schalke, and Basel in away legs. Yeah. So this is Mönchengladbach. I think I've read somewhere that they're the second weakest team left in the competition, and we're ranked as the favourites at the minute because of the form we're in. So, I think it's pretty tight on them that they've got to play 2 away legs, but that's just the way it is, mate. And we should beat them.
I think the only thing I fear more than anything is players getting COVID when they're travelling abroad, because the last thing we want to do is get a few players getting COVID on planes and all that carry on. That's the only worry for me. But the last thing I want for that to happen when we're in this type of form moving forward. That's the only thing that worries me.
From my understanding, from obviously they played Champions League games and Europa League games last week, there's been not any contraction of coronavirus that I've been aware of. There may be some for some teams of one of the lesser teams in the Europa League, but no, from my understanding, no one's contracted it in the travel. So that's a sign for us.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
You can only imagine that but every precaution's put in place, mate. Just got to trust in it.
Yeah, let's hope so.
We've got our own plane, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, and just going on, I've watched the Bundesliga quite regularly. I've got family in Germany, and it's a league I've always watched since I've had any availability to watch it. And I watch Gladbach a decent amount, but I don't watch them week in, week out. And I've just written down a few notes that I've noticed over the time watching them, and just a few people that I think we should watch out for tomorrow night's game. So I'm just going to go through that for you quickly, boys. I think starting from the back, the goalie is a decent keeper. He's not world class. Sommer's a good shot stopper. Good command of his box, distribution's average, but he's not a top keeper, but he's a decent keeper. Liner at right back is, in my opinion, their most complete fullback. He'll get up and down the pitch all game. He puts in a reasonable amount of crosses, and he's just a modern fullback in the most sense of the words. Hoffman's really their danger man in the middle. He plays mostly on the right wing in the 4-3-2-1, but if he can also come inside and play centrally. He averages 2.4 key passes a game, which is almost exactly the same as what Kevin De Bruyne creates per game in the Premier League. Obviously, you can say that the leagues may not be equivalent, but he still creates a lot of chances, averaging 2.1 crosses as well. So he's their main man in the midfield and the forward line that we're going to have to watch out for in terms of creativity. Kramer at CDM, he's a 30-year-old CDM. He's been playing for a long time. Good defensive stats every game. He's just a 6 out of 10 every game, and whoever he's going to be sitting on, be it Gundogan or Kevin De Bruyne, I think they'll have a tough time, but they should have the better of that duel. Their main man up top, Stindl, has got 25 goal involvements and 31 appearances for the club in all competitions. I think it's 13 goals and 12 assists. So he's the main man in terms of actually putting the ball in the back of the net for them, and he's an older player, but he's got a lot of quality. I know a lot of people are going to talk about Zakaria and such because, he's a name in the FIFA generation and whatnot. But the reality is Zakaria's hardly played this season. He's only played 720 minutes in all competitions, managing 8 starts and 6 sub appearances. It's Kramer. He's been injured, but Kramer's the man that even in the big games that they look to play for. So yeah, I don't expect Zakaria to even start, to be honest with you. And off the bench, Mbolo and Thuram are probably the guys that are looking at impact. Mbolo's a big, bulky centre forward who like to run with the ball, likes to beat people, is the main dribbler on their team. And if they're in a sticky spot, expect him to come off the bench and actually put in a decent performance. Like I told you earlier in the in the form stuff, they normally play a 4-2-3-1. But I expect them to play a 3-5-2 tomorrow. I don't expect them to play with a 4 at the back at all, because it will give them a little bit more options off the bench and a little bit more fluidity in what they can do during the game. They're a decent side, like I said, but with their form and the quality of their squad, it shouldn't be a difficult game for us to get through. I don't know if you guys have got any comments on the City side of it, what you guys are expecting, who we should watch out for us, who's going to be our danger men or anything like that. Starting with Alan.
I don't think. I think we just got to worry about ourselves. If we play our game that we're capable of playing, we should win. It's as simple as that. I'm not too worried about them. It's just, let's just hope it's not a typical City phrase where they shoot themselves in the foot. I think that'll be the only case. And just so people know, I think it was Andy saying, what was the weather like? The weather's sunny outside as usual. And did I buy Rossi a drink on weekend? Yes, I did. And we had a few drinks in Melbourne. So we had more than one occasion. I was on the G&Ts. I was off the beer. I was on the G&Ts. There you go.
Yeah, that's a good one. And for you, Chris, is there anyone, like, for me, obviously Gundogan's obviously seems like the main man. I think Rodri's going to obviously be really important for us. But in terms of going forward, who do you think is the ones?
Who's to play? Who's going to play? That's the issue.
That's what I was just going to get on. Is it a question of, do you expect rotation? I know we're going to get into the lineups in a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. We'll definitely rotate. There's so many all our players are in form, mate. Bernardo's in form. Certainly Gundogan's probably our main player, but Kevin plays. He's a danger. Riyad's played well in the last couple of matches. Phil Foden's, played some good games this season. It's going to be for Gladbach. It's going to be a very tough night, I'm sure. But they did well in their group stages to come out of the group with Real Madrid and Inter Milan and Shakhtar, and it's and probably the results against Shakhtar is why they're there, really, because I think they finished level, didn't they, with them?
Yeah, they did 8 points.
They had some exceptional performances early part of the season, and like I said, just before those last 5 games, they had the 4-2 win at Dortmund. So it's not like they're a bad side; they're just a side in a bit of bad form. That's probably how I'd attribute it to more. But just for the City side of it, we're in such amazing form. Like even in the times previously we've gone on extended runs, this is the most confident I've ever felt on runs, just purely off the base of the fact that we just don't concede goals. And like any football team, not conceding goals is just a solid base to start, and it allows you to build a platform for wherever you're going. We've seen players that have to come in, have stepped up. Players have been able to be rested, and we've not really seen drops in performances. Maybe not like going into the higher gears, but we've not needed to in a lot of these games. Arsenal was a particular case for that. Got a bit edgy at times, but we were comfortable the whole game and we looked in control. And that's something that City have got a lot of, I think, in the last few months. Is the level of control we have in games is unrivaled for me personally.
Yeah, as long as we start, it's like the first 5 minutes, you can tell what City are going to do. If they're up for it and passing the ball quickly and smoothly, I can't see anyone living with us when they do that.
But I think, like we just said there, Kurt, it's right. We started like a train against Arsenal. And then, I think it would be nice to have got a second goal against them to calm the nerves as a fan. Yeah. But like you say, we didn't seem to be in any trouble all game. And that's just the way the season's really gone. I mean, February so far has been incredible to have beaten Liverpool, Everton and Arsenal all the way from home and get a good result against Spurs. I think we beat Burnley as well, and that's not unusual, but, and a good win in the Cup. So, any away game I don't think is easy. And, the 2021, what a start. It's just incredible.
Yeah. Any team that has this kind of form in February, you've got to really start taking a look, because we all know after the Christmas period, after the January hustle, and when that window closes and when February starts, that's where you really see what teams are about and where people are at. And it's just unbelievable times to be a City fan. Like I can't imagine any team going up against us really has anything, because even before in 17-18 we had problems at the back. We're a team that could be got at. If they scored the early goal, it became difficult. We just don't concede those early goals anymore. We always keep the platform really sturdy, and it's just we're getting back to that point where teams coming in almost with that defeatist attitude, just because they just don't see an actual reasonable way to win against us on a regular basis, and that just puts the fear in everyone. The confidence level of our teams just sky high at the moment, and I really just don't see how we. The only way I think we're getting stopped at the moment is if we do it to ourselves, which we have done before, and we need to. And I'm sure all the boys in that locker room, they're the ones who played those 90 minutes. They're the ones who knows, and I don't think they want to let this keep happening, especially in the latter stages of the season, because we're still in all 4 competitions and we're looking very, very, very strong.
Yeah, mate, absolutely. I think you're right. The defence is just it's the basis this season. It's not usually, but because we've got so much talent up front, we're always going to get chances to score goals. But it's the way John Stones and Ruben Diaz and Aymeric Laporte when he's come in, and with Zinchenko as well. I think Ziggy needs a bit of love really as well. And Cancelo's performances have been a lot better this season. He's found a new role within the team that makes our attacking play give it another dimension, which must be quite scary for opposition teams when we've got so many already. So, looking forward to it, mate.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Normally, when the Champions League rolls around, I don't enjoy it. It's just nerve-wracking and annoying, and the anthems and everything about it, the build-up. It's just I never really enjoyed it. Like the only times I can remember enjoying the Champions League back in the day was the ITV days. When we were never in it, never really mattered. And it was always playing United. I get to cheer for them. But now the Champions League every week's just a nail-biting situation. But with the form the guys are in, it's just the confidence level. I'm just so confident in the boys. Even if they make a mistake and we go 1-0 down, the level of fight I know in that side's got, I know they're going to come back. But we're going to get into our lineups. I don't know if we want to just do the flat back 5 first, rather than just, because I'm assuming we're all going to stick Eddie in, right? So if we want to just go straight for the back 4.
I would say this is probably one of the last few chances Stefan's going to get to play this season, though. So I wouldn't be surprised if he came in.
Honestly, do you believe that? I thought that his season was done now. In terms of, I think one FA Cup game left. That's how I looked at it. But you're right. Maybe a good player, but I just don't see Pep rotating the goalie out of it. But
yeah, not in the Champions League. He wants to win it, so I think Edison will play.
But yeah, I think Edison will play, but it wouldn't be a total surprise if Stefan was picked.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from, but I personally I don't see it happening. Are we booing our TVs? I always boo my TV.
I'll be in the Imperial, so I'll just do a quick one. Any City fans in Melbourne, come to the Imperial at 7 a.m. Tomorrow, and we'll watch the game in the Imperial for the game. So Imperial, that's on Burke Street in Melbourne. So any Man City fans in Melbourne that want to come down, you are welcome. But we'll all be there tomorrow morning.
Well, you're just in such a lucky position. You're able to go and enjoy the game with people, mate. So yeah, exactly, mate. You enjoy it for all the ones over here that can't, mate. That's for sure. And like I said,
yeah, that's exactly right. I don't get the chance to go to the Etihad at the moment, do I? So, and even later on in the year, I won't be able to go. I won't be able to fly anywhere till 2022. So it's the way it is.
Yeah. All right. Getting on to the lineups. Back four. Starting with you, Alan.
Delicious in the middle. Delicious in the middle. So Diaz and Stones. I'm going to go for Walker on the right-hand side. And I'm going to go for Cancelo on the left-hand side.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay, and yourself, Chris, what are your thoughts on the back four tomorrow?
I think it might be Walker, Stones, Laporte, and Zinchenko.
No Diaz.
Walker, Laporte, Stones, Zinchenko, you said.
No Diaz. Oh,
no Diaz, mate.
Interesting.
Really?
My back four, I had Cancelo, Diaz, Stones, Laporte.
Okay, that's interesting.
Pep said he's rotating, hasn't he? He has said he's going to be playing different players.
I think it'll be the back three of like the Laporte, Stones, and Diaz, and Zinchenko next to whoever's playing at DM. You've got CM City saying Cancelo, Laporte, Diaz, Stones. He's going with the same one I've got for there. You've got Charlie Everett.
So you're playing fullback then if you're playing that left fullback.
Laporte, but it won't be a left fullback. It will just be like the back three with Cancelo sitting next to the DM.
Okay, fair enough.
That's how I think we'll set up for that one. Neil Handstock's gone with Cancelo, Stones, Diaz, Zinni. Andy went with Walker, Delicious, and Zinni. So he's got Walker in and Zinni on the left side. Interesting. So that's a little bit of a different one for all of us. Going into the midfield three. What about you, Alan? How do you think we're going to set up for the midfield three?
Well, Rodri's sitting in the holding role, and KDB and Gundogan.
And yourself, Chris?
I think this is the hardest to pick for me. I think obviously Rodri will play after missing out. Yep. I think he'll play Gundogan again. I've got a feeling he might not play KDB in this game. And
really?
And he might put Bernardo in. I think I'm underestimating Gladbach, mate, but I'm not putting them on the that higher level, mate, where we have to play Kevin. Maybe I'm wrong.
Ronnie Beaver going Garcia, no Pep.
Yeah.
No, he leaves Garcia till the quarterfinals. That's what will happen.
We've got CM City saying Rodri, KDB, and Bernardo in the middle. Neil Handstock went with Gundo, Rodri, and Bernardo. Charlie Everett went with Rodri, Gundo, and KDB. We got Martin going with Rodri, Gundo, and KDB. Me, I went exactly the same as those boys. I went Rodri, Gundo, and KDB as the three. I think we're going to look to wrap this game up early, get a couple early, and get the big boys off. That's my thinking in terms of the midfield three.
Okay.
And going on to the front three, which is for me in a Pep team always the hardest to choose.
You never know with him, do you?
Yeah. What are you thinking for the front three, Alan, tonight?
Tomorrow night. Foden on the left, Sterling on the right, and Mario Balotelli up front. He's going to come on, take penalties. No, it could be. I want to go a Bernardo up front
as like a false 9.
Yeah.
So that's Foden, Bernardo, and Sterling, correct?
Sterling, yeah.
For you, Chris, how do you think the man himself will line him up?
Foden, Sterling, and Gabby.
Yeah, I'm just going to bring up Andy's prediction: Sterling, Gabby, Foden, and that's exactly the front three I have, mate. Foden on the left, Sterling on the right, Gabby down the middle. We got CM City saying Foden, Sterling, Morris. Yep, I was.
It could be anything. You don't know.
It could be Bernardo on the right. It could be Bernardo on the right, Sterling on the left, Jesus down the middle. Jesus could not play this. The level of options we have is just crazy. Right. Neil Hanstock's gone for Sterling, Jesus, and Mahrez as his front three. Jesus not to play 2 in a row. I think personally he will play just because I think his energy levels, and he always seems to perform in the Champions League for me. I always seems to have a good game even if he doesn't get on the score sheet. That's generally why I've gone for him, and I just don't think he's obviously going to start Aguero. But he very well might just put the KDB or Bernardo as the false 9. You never know. He might do that again. So
to me, Bernardo's he's playing that well at the moment, especially in Europe. He does really well in Europe. I don't think you can leave him out in Europe. I think he's that good. Right? I just think
with the amount of games he's played on the bounce that he might get rested. But I had asterisks for Bernardo on the right and Sterling on the left and Foden not to play. But I thought Foden's going to play. That's why I went with the Foden side of it. Got Keck saying Foden, Aguero, Sterling. Charlie went Sterling, Jesus, and Foden's his. We got Dupe on hello mate. Kamal saying Bernardo's different class on the right wing. I think Bernardo's different class just anywhere on the pitch, mate. You could play him at right back, and I think
absolutely. He's back to his form a few years ago. He is easily.
Edison, Carson, and Stefan as the front three would still win. Who's playing in net? Kyle Walker.
Mario, get Mario back.
So none of us three have picked Sergio to start. And one of the polls that we did on the community today was, will Sergio start tomorrow? So thank you for everyone who's voted on that. 25% said yes, he'd start. 46% said he wouldn't. And 29% saying that he'd come off the bench. So, I don't know, do you think Aguero will get minutes tomorrow, Alan?
I think he'll be on the bench. I'm hoping he comes on for at least 20 minutes if we're winning. If we're winning 2 or 3-0, I'd like to see him get on the pitch just to have a run around because we have to get him on that pitch. Otherwise, I just don't know what we're going to do with him. So it's, he's got to get on the pitch at some point during the game tomorrow. Let's hope we're 2 or 3 up by then, where there's no pressure on him.
I got a feeling he'll play some minutes tomorrow. About you, Kurt?
Yeah.
For me, me. I said I thought he might get a start at Arsenal. So that was obviously just wishful thinking from me. I don't know, mate. I just don't know. I'm really perplexed. I don't know. I don't know what the situation is because for me, he has to get minutes at some point, and the games are not going to get easier. So when do you give him the minutes? Obviously, I trust in Pep. Whatever Pep decides, I back 100% because it'd be foolish to not. But it's real disconcerting because obviously we all love Sergio, and if it may be his last season here and he's going to go out on a whimper, we all don't want to see that. We had David Silva had to go without a send off. I think that's really the main side of it for the fan perspective. For me, it's just more that side of it. I just want to see the boy in a blue shirt, mate.
Yeah, I just think that Pep inadvertently has found a different way of playing with his false 9 for City. And it's worked, and it's working because it basically people can drop back in midfield and we just dominate the ball completely, and it's working at the moment. And I think he's actually stumbled on it by circumstance because Jesus and Aguero was out for such a long time that I think it's now found another way of playing, and teams are struggling with it because the defenders don't know who to mark, and that is a key thing. And I think he's reluctant to change it while it's working. I think that's
he has done it before but it seems to be quite regular now that we go with a false 9, doesn't it?
It is because the defenders in England don't know who to mark. because they're struggling to find, who do we pick up here? And if they come out, that leaves space being behind, and they to exploit that. So it seems to work. And as much as we all love Sergio and we all want him to play, and because of what he's done for the club, it's hard to see where Sergio's now going to get a regular game.
Yeah. I agree with you on that one, mate. I think it is going to be a bit of a. It's just when. That's just the question I think we're all asking is when. And we've got to get him minutes in his legs and get him sharper, because there is going to be a point when we do need him. Yeah. And when you play against the real big teams, you need someone who can only have one chance in the game, but we know he's going to put it away. I like Liverpool when we played them at home a few years ago when he had that chance from a narrow angle. There's only he could put that ball away. There's no one else in the country would have slammed that in. It's just the way he is. And he needs a couple games to get back, to find his shooting boots as well. So he's running out of games to get himself back into it, So it's a bit of a sad one for me. Hi, Alec, mate. But yeah, going onto the Gladbach lineup, I just wrote down what I think they're going to start tomorrow and how I think they're going to set up. So I'll just give you that, run down that quickly. I think obviously Sommer's going to start in goal. I think it's going to be Rami Bensebaini, which is the Algerian teammate of our boy Mahrez. He's going to play as the left centre back. Elverdi and Ginter will be the other two centre backs. Liner as the right wing back. Don't know who they're going to play as left wing back. Probably be Lazaro. And then the midfield three of Kramer, Hoffman, and Neuhaus. Hoffman and Neuhaus, like I said, they're the two creativer midfielders. And I think they'll just play with a narrow two of Plee and Stindl. And like I said, Stindl puts the ball in the back of the net, so stopping him getting chances will be important. I just think they'll play the five at the back just because it gives them a bit more options. Because if they play the 4-2-3-1 and they've got really no options in terms of changing it. Whereas if they can keep it tight for 60 minutes in that formation, take off the left wing back, drop to a 4 and add on an extra striker, in the last sort of 30 minutes and try and get something out of the game. I think that's generally how they're going to set up tomorrow, but I wouldn't be surprised if they played the 4. But I don't think there's going to be too much surprises. They haven't got a particularly massive squad, and it's going to be tough for them to get through, because like I said, they're having a bit of a rough spell at the moment. They've got a couple injuries, no major ones, but niggles and things of that nature. And we got Martin on saying, hit the like, guys, give the fellas a big thumbs up. Yeah, give all the boys in the chat a big thumbs up, and ladies, and let's get this up to 100 if we can, boys, if we can.
They don't like us that much, mate.
Got to try, mate. You've got to try housekeeping and all that. If you don't ask, you never get. Isn't that right? Isn't that what they say? So Leonard said Pep's already changed it by playing KDB. Yeah, playing. What was your thoughts on KDB playing in that false 9? Did you have any particular? Were you a bit surprised at that happening, or was that something you would particularly? Because I know he did that role earlier in the season, but I expect him to come back in a bit more of a deeper role for me. I didn't expect him to come back in that false 9 position.
I thought KDB needs to play in a deeper role. He's more effective. Some of the balls he was playing at the weekend in that deeper role were awesome. I just think we're missing out on his creativity when he's playing further forward. If he plays further forward, it doesn't suit him. I would prefer to play Bernardo or Mahrez or Sterling or whoever in that for even Foden. KDB is too inventive for me. He needs to play in a deeper role coming late into the box.
Yeah. Got Charlie saying Gladbach players are a part-time farmer's job, so they have the day off. Charlie, mate, you're a very, very mean man. You're a very mean man. It's not nice. That's not very
that bad.
If the Bundesliga is a farmers' league, then the amount of farmers we have in Europe is unrivaled. There's just farmers everywhere. Everyone's all the fruits, all the veggies, all sorts going on. But I don't know if you guys have got any particular thoughts on how we're going to sort of approach the game. If we're going to sort of just try and sort of drill them in the first sort of 50, 60 minutes, get the job done and take off key players, or you think it's going to be a bit more of a tight and a bit more of a sort of nervy affair in the early parts of the game? Because for me, I think it's going to be a case of we're going to try and blitz them and get the big boys off as quick as possible.
Well, I think that City will try and control the ball. To be honest with you, they're going to go for it. They've got to go for it in this leg and try and score goals because they know they come to the Etihad and not put a performance in tomorrow night. They're going to go out. So I think it'll be cagey. City will try in the first 20 minutes, just get hold of the ball and keep it. If we can go one up, great. But I think City will try and keep the ball and not concede goals. And if we can sneak 1 or 2 on the break, that'll be fine for us. We're well capable of doing that.
Yeah, I think I'd go that way as well. I think they will try and control the game more than blitz them. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't have our strongest team out tomorrow. I really wouldn't. And I think we'll just try and, play our usual possession game and create chances like we always do. I don't think we'll change anything particular. I think it will be a bit more dynamic than we were against Arsenal, but maybe I think this last couple of months we've seen City play a far more controlled sort of style of football. And we've and it's worked really well. Teams have really struggled to get behind us. I think we haven't been behind in the game since that loss to Spurs. And I think that I said that at the weekend. That's the only thing that you got to question City on at the minute, and that's only because the question hasn't been asked: is what will City be like if they go a goal down?
Yeah, that'll be the test, won't it?
Yeah, but it's that long ago. We don't know. I think they respond well now. I really do. But yeah, I just expect a lot of control. Kurt.
Yeah, I just like I think it was Pearson making a good point that they will work hard off the ball, and you expect any side at this level they know that when they play against the top teams, they're not going to have the ball all the time, and their work off the ball is more important necessarily than on the ball a lot of the times. And I think it'll be one of those games where we have a lot of the ball. If we get that early goal, I could see it getting to a big scoreline pretty quickly against a side like Gladbach, but if they can get themselves into half time at 0-0, I'm sure they'll be very happy. But I think from our side, like I said, I think we'll be looking to try and get that game wrapped up as quick as possible. Get the likes of the big boys off. Sterling rested, whoever else has started that's playing a lot of games rested. And yeah, I know a lot of people in the comments are talking about the Sergio situation. I know Ronnie B was saying Sergio. They're talking about the running in training and whether the signs of fitness and things like that. I don't necessarily ever see the big boys in working too hard in training in any of the top clubs for me, but I don't know about that. I'm not a coach. I'm not in training sessions, so I can't really say for sure.
Pep said at the end after the Arsenal game that Sergio's ready to play and he will play. He just felt that this run of games that we just had, it wasn't the time to introduce him, and I think he's right. I think now we got not easy games coming up because no game's easy, but they're not like. We've only got United coming up in the next 5 or 6 games. We've got 4 home games coming up in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And then I think we go away to Fulham, and then I think there might be the return leg of the Mönchengladbach game after that. So I can see Sergio getting some real, a lot of minutes in, unless he gets injured, which you can't discount.
Yeah.
I think if he gets injured, Chris, that'll be it for him.
Yeah,
that'll be that loss will save him.
Addy says, I disagree. I know for a fact Jadon Sancho has grown carrots during the week. So is he a part-time farmer and a part-time footballer, a full-time farmer in a farmers league, or just a footballer in a football league? Who knows? It's a conundrum. We'll have to let the investigation go in and try and figure this out. I don't know if you guys want to get into what you think the score predictions for tonight is going to be, and what your thoughts are on what the ending score will be for tomorrow's game.
I think City will win 2-1.
Tight 2-1 or a comfortable 2-1, Alan?
I think it'll be tight. 2-1. Borussia Dortmund, Borussia Mönchengladbach will, raise their game tonight, no question. They've done it before, they'll raise it again. It'll be 2-1.
Yep, and for yourself, Chris, what are your thoughts on what the score's going to be tomorrow?
I think it'll be a comfortable 2-0 win. I think they'll struggle to lay a glove on us, if I'm honest. And I just don't think we'll play at 100 million mile an hour. I think we'll just control the game. I think that's what will happen.
Yeah, I actually thought about my score prediction probably longer than I ever thought about any other one I'd done, really. I don't really know why I put so much thought into it. I was umming and ahhing. I originally was going with a 3-1, and then I was like, nah, we're going 3-0. 3-0 for me is what I think the scoreline to be tomorrow. I think we're going to have 2 goals in the first half, get another one early in the second half, and get this game and tied, done and dusted.
It's a very confident scoreline here. I know that looking at the.
Yeah, I know. We're going to get into some of what the guys in the comments are thinking. Yeah. Now, starting off with Neil Handstock, he's going for Gladbach 1, City 2. He's agreeing with you, Alan. There, we got Kex O'Neill going for a City 2-0. Shedders is having a few beers. I think 6-0 for City. I bloody love it, mate. 6-0 would be a dream, wouldn't it? Send a few of the babies on for the return leg. Got Leonard London saying 3-0 to City. He agrees with me there. CM City going for a big 5-0 win. Kiona's going for a 5-0 win to City. MCFC Lenny's gone for a C-0 City with style. Yeah. We got Martin going for 4-0. It's what he does, isn't it? It's predicting.
It's quite reserved for Martin.
Yeah, I know.
It's usually 5-0, isn't it? Every game.
Yeah. Even when we're 1-0 up with 20 minutes left to play, we're still scoring 5.
Yeah.
Respect the confidence. Scott Williams has gone for a 3-1 to City. Alec Johnson's gone for a 4-0 to City. Sean Fogarty's gone for a 3-1 City. Agreeing with Addy there. Addy's also gone 3-1. Abdi, sorry about not mispronouncing the name, mate. I'm just going to go with Abdi so I don't butcher it too badly. And he's gone for a 2-1 City. Dudley's gone for a 2-0 City. Queen versus King, it says Foden has started 17 Premier League games this season and scored 10 goals and 3 assists. His numbers are great. I think he's 3rd for goals overall and 3rd for assists overall in the City squad. His numbers are absolutely fantastic, and he's really showing everyone that he's pretty good, isn't he? He's pretty good. Ronnie. Yeah, he's not bad at all, is he? Ronnie Beaver's gone for a 3-0, says by half time and then second gear to the end, and then maybe nick another. Ronnie Beaver's sort of going with the same train of thought I am with how I think the game will play out there. Jack Lee went for a 4-0 City. Bloody a lot of big scores tonight, lads. A lot of big scores. Queen versus King's gone 3-0. Borussia, my back is glad. Okay. Let's see for any more on the score predictions. We got Lofa M16 has gone for a 2-0 Man City. Reese has gone for a Borussia Mönchengladbach 1, Manchester City 4. Any more? We've got Andy's gone for a 1-1.
Oh.
I don't know if he's just messing or I've missed something there. What is that? Premier League, Cup, FA Cup, Champions League, Club Biscuit Cup, Oil Money Trophy, FA Favourites Cup, West Football Lawyers Cup. That'll do for me. You forgot about the Best Dressed Club. Like, you've got to win that as well. Like, I'm sure there's awards for everything these days. They're giving them out for everything. Ray's gone for a 4-1 to Man City. Abdullah's on. Hello, mate. He's gone for a 2-0 Man City. Liquify's gone for a 2-1 to Man City. David's on. He's saying a 3-0 to Man City. Any more? And I think this is the last one I can see here. It's Sidharth, if I've pronounced that correctly. I do apologise if it's wrong. And he's gone for a 2-1. So as you can see with a lot of the people in the comments here tonight, they're really confident of us getting through and it being quite a comfortable game from the scorelines. And that's exactly how I'm feeling in regards to the game. I think I just have no real worries about this. I think it should be a really, really easy game. Well, it's as easy as Champions League knockout games go anyway, you know.
Watch us get stuffed tomorrow now.
Yeah, typical City, yeah. We're overconfident and go and get beat, and get stuffed and get knocked out. There we go. Yeah,
but Charlie's saying not confident, Andy. Leonard's saying only Andy didn't predict a win. Yeah, I think he was the only one who didn't. He's saying not messing 1-1. I think we might go soft tomorrow. It's interesting.
Maybe.
That's interesting. By soft, are you talking about the lineup, or are you talking about the performance, Andy? Andy, there when you say we think we're going to be soft. Who's the officials for tomorrow? I like to surprise myself and see on the day, mate. I don't know who the officials are. I'm sure I can find out for you, mate. It won't take me a second. It could happen, mate. It could happen. It could be one of those times where we're all confident as anything, and it bites us in our butt. But I don't think so. I'm really confident for tomorrow. The VAR official is the one from Spurs Champions League game from the heartache. Oh, interesting. I wish you didn't tell me that, mate. These are the sort of things I'd rather just not know, you know? I'd rather not know, you know what I mean? Jack's Lee saying whenever I prick 3 or 4-0, we get stuffed. Yeah, I think Andy's started everyone thinking, oh God, maybe not, you know? We've all gone from 4-0 to it might be a tight one. Oh, he's talking about the lineup. He thinks there's going to be quite heavy rotations and we're not gonna put the big boys out. Leonard's saying, why would you go soft? I don't think it's that he would go soft. I think it's Andy's saying that he thinks Pep will. Ray saying Eddie assists. He needs to get an assist in every competition, you know, just to show all the other keepers what's what. I don't know if you guys have got any sort of final things you want to talk about or any other little bits and bobs you want to say before the game tomorrow. Because I know as I said, I've said it many times tonight, but I'm really excited for this. I normally don't get excited for the Champions League, but I don't know why. I am really excited for this one.
I just think that City need to win this competition. And I think Pep's got to start picking his best team and not mess around with it and just play the way we play. back ourselves rather than worry about the oppositions. City need to win this competition for the players' sake, for the owners' sake, and for the manager's sake. I think we've all got to get behind it. And
for yourself, Chris?
Really, I haven't got much more to say about the Gladbach game, mate. The only thing that we've got left to sort of do officially is the poll on the Fernandinho that it's come out in the MEN today that Ferner's not going to make a decision on his future till the end of the season. So the poll was, should Ferner be given an extended contract? We've had 319 votes and 84% go with yes. How do you feel about that, Kurt?
You know my opinion on the main man. I've got a couple comments about Gundogan. I've been watching a lot of interviews recently. I briefly watched the press conference today. I didn't think there was too much in the press conference to go over. That's why I didn't particularly bring it up. It was very boring, very boring. But I thought Gundogan made an exceptional point when Fernandinho was brought up, and he said he's our captain, he's our leader, he knows when to speak, he knows when not to speak. You know, basically just bigging him up, saying how much he respects and loves Ferner. I watched an interview with Foden that I think's about 2.5, maybe a month old. I don't know when it was originally recorded. And he spoke, and he was asked basically who helps you the most in the team, and he's saying it was Fernandinho. He always goes up to the players. He always makes sure, like for example, if a player's upset, he'll go to Pep and say, "Look, this player's upset." He's the link. You know what a captain really should be, the link between the dressing room and the backroom staff. And as I'm sure every City fan goes, we all love Fernandinho and for what he's done for the club, and he looks in the back that he's a really top guy. So I think with the decision about him waiting for his future, I think it just comes down to the fact that he's going to wait to see whether he's going to play another year and then retire, or whether he wants to retire now and jump straight into the backroom stuff. Because I may think he may want a year or two playing at another club at maybe a bit of lower level just to play football. He may have that more interest, or he may want to just get a head start on the coaching side of things. So whatever decision he makes, I'm really happy for the bloke, and I wish him the best because he's my favourite City player, and I love Ferner. I absolutely love him.
I just hope he, if he decides to hang up, I think he's focused at the moment to get the end of the season. And trying to win things. I think at that point, I'd love him to stay for one more year, but also incorporate the coaching side as well within the club. That's what I would like. That would be the ideal scenario. We know he's never going to play 2 years, maybe 1 year maximum, but also take a coaching role at the same time within the club. That's what I would like. But if he decides to go home, then all good. He's been brilliant for us. Brilliant. Great player.
I think, like at the game against Arsenal, I mean, I think we all thought that Rodri would play. And I don't think anybody's overly disappointed if Fernandinho does play, because he's still quality. He might not be able to play 2-3 times a week, and I don't expect him to. If he stays next year, but he's a wonderful person to have in reserve.
How many other teams can rest their main DM and replace him with another world-class DM? It just doesn't happen. It just doesn't.
And he hasn't had that many bad injuries over the time he's been at City. He's had a few injuries, but nothing nasty. Let's say like a Gundogan's had, or an Aguero, or a Kevin as well. So, and if you look at his sort of his body shape as well, he still looks really trim and as if he'd be in his mid-20s sort of thing. So I don't think he's finished yet.
He's not. That's my thing. I think he might just want to play more football, and he might want to just know that he's only got a year, maybe 2 years left, and he goes, I could be helping out City. I do love the club, but at the end of the day, I've only got a couple of years and life's short, and I maybe want to play football somewhere else for a couple of years. And I wouldn't begrudge him for that, but I'd be absolutely exceptionally happy if he did, like what Alan said, done like another year where he's basically the backup, only going to play 10, 15 games when needed and rotation, and do a lot more of the coaching stuff behind the back room because I think like a lot of the comments you can see, everyone absolutely loves Ferner in here, and we all know what a great guy he is. And Kex is saying, well said, Alan. We'd all love to see him. Zabba, I think, are the two guys that are close. Obviously, Zabba's gone on now, but they're the guys we expected kind of to be in a coaching role, maybe not a manager, but in the back room, sort of like, Duncan Ferguson at Everton. You need those sort of players that have been at the club, that have that link and that connection between the dressing room and the backroom staff, and I think he's just a man for that. He's he's just I love Ferner, and I don't think there's not a bad word I can say about him. Him and David Luiz were the only two people to come and speak to the press after Brazil got banged out. He's always stood up and talked. He's a leader. He looks after the players. He helps people settle. I know he's done absolutely a lot in terms of helping people integrate. I know he does a lot with his wife. His wife helps a lot with the other players, like the girlfriends and wives of other players. And those sort of little things, they're things that can easily be overlooked, but they're exceptionally helpful in having players settle. We've seen, I don't know if anyone watched the Tottenham documentary, but you saw how much Sergio Aurier and Mohamed Sissoko helped Ndombele settle, and how that's showed promise for him in terms of his performances on the pitch. And those little things, they can't be understated. Home life and everything like that being settled really makes a difference to how you're going to be able to perform. And I think he's the man. And whatever he decides to do, not bothered, mate. Not bothered.
Yeah, great. It's nice to see so many nice comments about him. I mean, I think, we've had some really great players at the club in the last sort of decade, some outstanding players. And for me, Fernandinho is up there with any of them. I think that
all day
performances, he doesn't play a flashy role like, a Sergio or a David, but he allows the rest of the team to play the football that we've been able to play. And, and now we're starting to see that with Rodri as well, but he's such a consummate professional, isn't he?
Yeah. He's essential this year. He'll play the rest of this season and he'll make his mind up. But he's one of the greats, without any shadow of a doubt. He's one of our greatest players. No danger.
Yeah. And what people also forget is, people forget the actual quality he has on the ball. He came from Shakhtar Donetsk, where he was playing as an attacking midfielder, dropped into a central midfielding role with Fernando, whoever he was stuck next, and let Yaya do whatever he wanted for 2 years. Let Yaya do whatever he wanted for 2 years, and in terms of performances, they were two of Yaya's best years. In my opinion, in terms of consistent performances. And I think, he wasn't there in the Mancini era, but he came just after, and he's been an absolute stalwart for the team, and everyone loves him. And like Ronnie Beaver says, well said, Kurt, Zabba did the same. They just, having players like that in your club is what it's all about as fans. It's nice to have the flashy, good players, but the ones that really represent you on the pitch is just, What a bloke. I could sit here all night and talk about how great Fernandinho is, and the comments is just endless comments about how great Fernandinho is and what a leader he's been. We've got
it shows, because we've had arguments on this show on about having Fernandinho instead of Rodri when Rodri wasn't playing that well, and the guy's like on his last legs now, and he's still performing to the highest level. That's what's extending. You saw David Silva. his legs start to go. But Fernandinho's fit as a fiddle. He really is. And he can still play. And there was one point in the game against Arsenal where I think it was when Sterling missed a one-on-one, where he won the ball 3/4 of the way up the pitch, took it off the guy. And I mean, he just went straight through him, got the ball and passed it straight into Sterling to go one-on-one, and he fluffed his lines yet again. But, this guy's like in his mid-30s, and he's still doing it. He's still getting up, down, up, down, up, down. Incredible.
Yep, and it's just his commitment. We talk about a lot of players. His commitment to his profession is something that can't be understated because it's people often talk about footballers. They're this, they're pampered, they don't really live in the real world. But he's one of those players you could have seen playing in multiple generations. You dropped Ferner 20 years ago in the Premier League, it would have been fine. Yeah. There's not a lot. There's not a lot of players these days you can really say that about. He has everything. He does everything you want, and he's an absolute top man. And we got everyone asking Chainsaw, where's the chainsaw? I'm sure I'm already late on this. I don't need to ask the chainsaw himself.
I don't know where I lent my chainsaw to Martin and Andy, and they've disappeared. So yeah, I've done it.
Imagine that, just bobbing off and he was
just
trying
a
to
couple
have a chainsaw. He's just trying to have a night off, lads. Come on,
a couple of United fans coming on. Jesus,
go and find Albie, mate. Arts and crafts.
Let them stay on and just say you're playing on Thursday nights. Just enjoy that.
I don't know if you've got it on the telly over there, Alan, but we've got an advert and it basically goes, welcome back to the Europa League, Man United. It's hilarious, mate.
I want to see that. I'll have a look on YouTube later for that one. I can do some mileage with that one. Yeah, you just enjoy Thursday nights, Man United fans. Come on here with pleasure. You can watch. We're playing Champions League, and we have done for a long time now. But you play Thursday nights and enjoy yourselves.
Yeah. That big Tottenham chart. Yeah. You play Thursdays because you're. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Shidders makes an absolutely exceptional point here in terms of Dino's influence on Rodri. We all know that Dino's clearly helped the guy, and he's come on leaps and bounds. And I know a lot of people are really happy, and I know Alan's turned around on Rodri and is exceptionally happy with the performances. I just think who's playing bad in the City team? They may not be playing exceptionally.
At the moment, there's no real player at the moment you would say is out of form. The only person you would want in form is Sergio, and that's it. But he's not getting games, and that's testament to the rest of the players. Let's be honest.
It most certainly is. I don't know if you guys have got any final thoughts before we wrap up tonight.
No.
I haven't.
It's been Go on, sorry, mate.
No, I haven't, Kurt. It's just nice to see you both again. And one thing I would say on the Rodri Ferner thing is the one thing that Ferner won't be able to teach Rodri is his ability to spot jet danger, because that is, you can't.
Awareness is something, you can't teach that. That comes with experience and making mistakes, and learning from them, which I think Rodri's actually done very well this season, because a lot of the things that I wasn't happy about with his game he's improved on. So it's just top. And I think this is one of the best comments to leave it on. Enjoy the Europa League, yeah. Whoa. Really gets you hyped, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks everyone for joining in. Alan, you got anything before we off? I don't know if I've already went there, mate.
Come on, City. Just come down to the Imperial if you're in Melbourne. If you're a City fan, to the Melbourne supporters branch of Man City. So come down. You feel welcome for tomorrow morning watching the game.
Not too bad for you tomorrow then. 7 in the morning.
7 on the weekend against Arsenal was 3:30 a.m. on a Monday morning, Chris. On a Monday morning. So you got to get up, but you got to get back up again to go back to go to work. So, which is what I'm going to do as soon as we put we've closed up. I'm going straight into some work. So there you go. Yeah. It's not too bad. It's not too bad on. I prefer the Champions League games because you can just get up, go watch the game.
Yeah, it's a bit more of a reasonable time for you, mate?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And Andy rightly says, go check out the community chat tomorrow, guys. There's always things we're trying to put up on there. So every day, just give it a click refresh, have a look over there, see if there's anything new, and make sure you get your votes in, because the votes and stuff and comments on there have been fantastic from there. And they're really nice just to get a general holistic view of what people are thinking on certain things. And so I think it's really great. And thanks for everyone who's got involved in the comments tonight. It's been some absolutely great love for the boys tonight. A lot of confidence in terms of where we're going to be going. And I've really enjoyed this show. Thanks for Alan and Chris for coming on and joining me and giving their time and everything. Thanks very much, guys.
Thank you, Kurt. Thank you as well, mate.
Stay safe back home.
Yeah, mate. Always do, mate. Have a nice cup of tea after this and settle down for bedtime. But thanks everyone for coming on. All the comments were brilliant tonight. Absolutely fantastic, brilliant show, guys. Yeah, and you're saying the community chat is fire. Yeah, all you people that get involved and make what it is, really. And it's such a pleasure to come on and chat to a bunch of Blues that I normally never get to see. So that's it from me. And as always, up the Blues and good luck for tomorrow, boys. I'll see you all then.
Come on, City.